Blessings. We are back in Jamaica on our way up to Cockpit Country, which is the most ecologically sensitive part of the island, and is being threatened by bauxite mining. We're going to find out exactly what's been happening since the last time we were here.
Bauxite has been here for years and been transported to America and all other places, and we never got anything out of it. No mining should be done here.
Last year, we came to Jamaica to report on the mining of bauxite, the ore used to make aluminum. Jamaica was once the world's leading exporter of bauxite, but now they're running out of places to mine.
Inside here is Special Mining Lease Area 173.
SML 173. So all of the folks here and this land is under threat.
Is under threat by bauxite.
SML 173 targets over 18,000 acres of land that have yet to be open to mining, though the U.S. company Noranda has been trying to get a permit for years. And the Jamaican government, it has an interest in helping. It owns 51% of the company's mining operations in the country, and folks here are worried about the industry's toll on the land and the people.
Who are those people that are so expendable and can be sacrificed?
In 2006, the people of Cockpit Country determined a boundary based on geology, history, and other factors. A 2013 government commission study agreed with them. But in 2017, when Prime Minister Andrew Holness proposed the Cockpit Country protected area, it excluded SML 173. And people there are fighting back.
When you're amongst the ancestors and you think of all that they've been through, believe you, it gives you more than strength to fight. Mm-hmm. We're the ones who burn the plantations. Mm-hmm. Don't play with us.
Mm-hmm. Cockpit Country is home to the Maroons, a self-governing group formed by indigenous people and formerly enslaved Africans. The Maroons fought off the British back in the 1700s and won a treaty that formally recognized their sovereignty.
Should the mining companies violate the sovereignty, what do you intend to do?
What are we gonna do? Maybe I can't say that on the camera.
Chief, what's going on?
Welcome. It's good to see you.
Hey, likewise, man. Glad to be back. Last time we were here, there was a lot of talk about mining companies coming in and threatening the sovereign territory of the Maroon, specifically SML 173. So has anything happened with SML 173?
There isn't mining in 173, but it's right along the border.
So there's been a little tension?
A little might be gentle.
Within a month after our last piece was released, Chief Curry and the Accompong Maroons chased Jamaican police out of Cockpit Country.
We coming, Joanna, coming good. Can't shoot nobody else, so.
North of Kingston, the Russian bauxite company Wendalco poisoned the Rio Cobre River, disrupting the food and water supply.
The silence is deafening on the part of every spokesperson in governance.
And west of Kingston, a ruptured fuel line caused a fire at Hong Kong's Jamalco alumina refinery. But even as things heated up, the government continued its push to mine in Cockpit Country.
Since the signing of our treaty, the Maroons lived free forever on the lands that were designated Maroon lands, and our lands have now become under threat. There are arrangements and deals that are being done outside of the purview of the indigenous people of the land. And that concerns us because we are sovereign people, and the government, in collaboration with a foreign entity, can't just up and decide to go on anybody else's land and just mine. What would give me the right to come into your backyard and dig for gold, knowing that you have gold there without your permission?
It'd be a problem.
Okay, so imagine if I brought a foreigner with me, someone you didn't know.
It'd be a problem for them too.
We have this treaty, this international agreement to which Jamaica is obligated to honor.
What does sovereignty mean to you?
Sovereignty means, first, it's the freedom of the soil, right? Because that's where your sovereignty is derived from. We've always inhabited and protected these lands. We live off these lands. Our medicine comes from these lands, the herbs, the food. our sustenance, we know these lands to always be our lands.
Naranda says it has no plans to mine in Maroon communities, and the government responded directly to Chief Curry's concerns.
There is no other sovereign authority in Jamaica other than the government of Jamaica. Not 1 inch of Jamaica will come under any other sovereign authority. Are you crazy? This is the stuff of how guerrilla wars come. Thank you.
When Prime Minister Holness lost his cool, pressure mounted for him to sit down with the Maroons. He finally did, with a few catches. Chief Curry was not invited, and the 3 chiefs he did meet with were from territories far from Cockpit Country. 2 weeks later, the permit was issued for Naranda to mine the first section of SML 173.
The piece that they have now agreed can be mined is this pink area, 1,333 hectares.
What exactly is inside this pink area?
Farming communities, schools. I guess my biggest fear is for the people who live there and how much their quality of life is going to be affected, and for the water supplies. This is an extremely complex ecosystem sitting over a large underground water aquifer. Why are we going to mine in the watershed area of a major river?
The government evaluated the environmental impact of Naranda's project and said it was safe, but the government's stake in the company makes that hard for some people to trust.
There's a relationship between people and the place in which they live. And bauxite mining disturbs that relationship in a profound way, and there's no coming back from it. Really what was there is lost forever.
I look at a town like Gibraltar.
Yeah, and they're already experiencing mining under this mining lease, SML 172. So they're right.
They're right on the line of
exactly.
all sides.
Yeah.
The town of Gibraltar is directly between an area that's already been mined out and the area that's been approved to be mined next.
That was a turn?
According to the map.
Do you guys know where we are?
Let's just take a left.
Where's this road supposed to be taking us? Bro, we are in the middle of a pit.
Good morning, citizens of Gibraltar. The government of Jamaica issued a permit to the Naranda Jamaica Bauxite Partners 2 for mining to take place. It's the start of mining in what we know as Cockpit Country.
If they take away my land, what am I going to do?
Because we are in this rural side, we are nobody to them. They don't see this community. We need someone to stand up with us to fight.
We just say we are trying to stop it, and we can't stop it.
Me and you can't stop it. The whole nation need to come together, defend your rights. We have the national pledge. I promise to stand up for justice, brotherhood and peace, to work diligently and creatively, to think generously and honestly, so that Jamaica may, under God, increase in beauty. Any beauty that Gibraltar will never give out.
We have to find back some of the Maroon spirit. We need to fight for our community, our rights, because we know we have rights.
So,
After the meeting, Shauna K. Hemmings took us to her house across the street. There's already a mining pit right in her backyard.
This was a farming land. We used to have coconut tree, banana, cocoa, peas, and potato, white yam, and corn.
It's like a grocery store back here.
Left of each store now.
If you don't have this food and this farmland to sustain yourselves, how are you all living right now?
We have to buy, and we don't have money. So you have to say we are going to suffer now. It affects our children coming up. It affects our health.
This noise all day.
All day, all week, all month.
Your son has to wake up to this every day.
Right now, I'm even asleep good at night time. And when I go to school, right now, so I hear my phone and ring teacher and say if you come feed because I'm asleep at school.
Jamal, how old are you?
7.
Even at school, Hemming's son Jamal can't escape the impact of bauxite mining.
This is the school.
Yeah, this is the school.
Right next to.
Mine.
Oh my gosh. So the school was here first, and then they start mining around it?
Yeah.
When did they start the mining?
2020. It was the COVID. The school was on lockdown,
Okay.
so then they get the big go ahead to do what they wanted to do.
Naranda told us they don't mine at night or near establishments when they're open. But for parents like Hemmings, it's not exactly ideal to live and send her child to study next to mining operations.
Is there any way that they can prevent the kids from being affected by what's happening right next door?
Only the fencing. That's the only precaution I've seen. They have to walk me up the classroom for them to get enough air. When the sun is out and the breeze lift that dust, all of it's coming from that side. That's not good for them.
As you get out of Gibraltar, you're looking at 165 on this side, which is a permitted area, and most of what we're seeing is mined out already. Over here, you're effectively driving into SML 173. A year passes and 2 years and this is mined out, then they request another permit to take another piece.
What towns are in that area that are about to be threatened?
The significant one would be Barnstaple.
Barnstaple is just 15 minutes down the road from Gibraltar. So far, it's untouched, but people here know what to expect if the mining starts.
The experience shows from the communities nearby that the damage is just barren.
If the government came here to see how you all live, do you think that would make a difference?
There's a government thing. It's the government that really care about we. They don't care, brother.
I am 70 years of age and I born in that house up there. The family going pretty and everything. See cocoa here, you don't know cocoa?
Cocoa.
Yes, This is pumpkin. This is tree bean. Chocho, grapefruit, plant, banana, jackfruit tree, pear tree, everything, coconut tree. It's all it. Now when I come on, but I do.
Without the land, we can't live. You see my finger them, look for me hand. Look here. See pan them how them crack up. You see how them crack? You see how them tap? A farming me do.
Do you sell it at the market or you just eat it for yourself?
No, I go to the market and sell it. Naranda come and mine you out now. We don't know what we go do. You know, we go just left pay hole around the place and poverty. You understand me?
Naranda says land that's mine can be reclaimed and used to farm again. But local farmer Tyron Jack is not buying it.
I don't want to see Naranda none at all. When they left we in a desert now, what big buckets of people going to do? We need food. And at the soil, bring it.
Abandoned raised here. My father, my mother, all of us abandoned, my children. My brothers, my mother, my father is buried up there. If Naranda come into mine this era, where would I go? What would happen to me?
If you had one thing that you could say to Prime Minister Andrew Holness, what would it be?
I say, Mr. Andrew, avoid the mining. Back over Barnstaple, back in a sentence now. Avoid the mining, Mr. Andrew. We never put you there for that.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness ignored our interview request. So we sat down with the new mining minister, Audley Shaw, a career bureaucrat who was appointed in January.
We've had bauxite mining and alumina production for over just about 70 years. The companies generally have shown good support for communities in which they operate. And the people are highly appreciative of it, and so is the government.
Is it your understanding that bauxite mining is destructive to the land?
You know, there's a perception that when the companies go into an area, all of the land is mined out. It's not all of it. It's actually in pockets around the place. Typically, most of the land remains untouched.
This is SML 173 here. Are you familiar with the towns that exist in this area?
No, I've not. As I said, I'm just on board.
We've had the luxury of meeting the fine people there, and several times over, they said, the Jamaican government doesn't care about us. Why do you think they feel this way?
Those are some of the issues that we have to concentrate on to make sure that we balance and to make sure that people are not disrupted in a negative way.
The Jamaican government is 51% owner of a bauxite company with Noranda. Is it possible that your stake in mining may cloud your judgment when it comes to protecting the people of Jamaica and the environment here?
No.
Is that not a conflict?
Not at all. This government is definitely interested in protecting our environment. And that's why National Environment Protection Agency is a government agency.
Yeah, but that's like...
Sir, it is a government agency. So you can't say that this government is not interested in environmental protection.
When you do a cost-benefit analysis, do you think the bauxite mining is worth it, especially considering it's a finite resource?
The answer for us in Jamaica, in terms of our path for wealth creation, is not to look at the bauxite industry and lock it down and throw away the key. It is for us to focus more intensely on the interests of our citizens and farmers.
They not deal with we like people. They not deal with we like human beings. That is one of the things we're tired of. I see and I know what my children can get, and I know what this community need, and we are demanding it.
All these land, remember our ancestors fight for us and die for us to make sure the generation to come, they have somewhere to live and they have land to cultivate.
Me love my farm. When I allow them to just step in for me, so. Me would have prefer die more than then come here so can dig it up.
I think a lot about those who came before us, what they went through for us to be here today. And then I think about the responsibility that we have to ensure that we preserve this for those who will come after us. The Almighty above will always provide as long as we do our best to protect and preserve.